a giant crocodile named Titan. For decades, Titan ruled the river with unmatched strength and intelligence. The local villagers spoke of him in whispers, describing a creature so enormous that his eyes glowed like lanterns at night and his tail could create waves strong enough to rock fishing boats. While many feared him, few truly understood him. Titan was not a mindless predator, he was a survivor, a living relic from a world that existed long before humans built villages along the riverbanks. Every morning, as the golden sunlight broke through the mist, Titan would slowly emerge from the dark waters and rest on a muddy sandbank. His scar-covered body told stories of countless battles fought throughout his life. Some scars came from rival crocodiles competing for territory, while others were reminders of dangerous encounters with wild buffalo and giant boars. Each mark was a chapter in a story of survival that stretched back more than half a century. The river itself was a world full of life. Schools of fish darted through the water, colorful birds nested in the trees, and monkeys swung from branch to branch above the river banks. Titan observed it all with patience. Unlike many predators that hunted constantly, crocodiles relied on strategy. Titan could remain completely motionless for hours, waiting for the perfect opportunity. His stillness often fooled animals into believing he was nothing more than a fallen log drifting near the shore. One evening, as storm clouds gathered across the horizon, a young fisherman named Arif ventured farther into the river than ever before. He had heard legends about Titan, but dismissed them as exaggerated The fisherman froze in fear. For several seconds, neither moved. Then, with surprising calmness, the giant crocodile slowly sank beneath the surface and disappeared into the black water. Eric paddled back to the village as fast as he could, his heart pounding in his chest. That night, the villagers gathered around a fire as Eric described what he had seen. The elders exchanged knowing glances. One old man explained that Titan had lived in the river longer than anyone could remember. According to local stories, the crocodile protected the balance of the ecosystem by keeping animal populations under control. Some even believe the giant reptile possessed a mysterious connection to the river itself. As rain began to fall and thunder echoed through the jungle, Titan rested beneath the water, hidden from sight. The ancient predator had survived countless storms
Their arrival would soon change everything, setting the stage for an adventure that would test Titan's strength, intelligence, and will to survive like never before. Part 2. Hunters arrive. Far away from the peaceful river, a group of trophy hunters sat inside a crowded tavern listening to stories about Titan. The tales of a giant crocodile living deep in the jungle sparked their curiosity. To them, Titan was not a living creature, but a prize waiting to be claimed. Led by a wealthy hunter named Victor Blackwood, the group began planning an expedition to find the legendary reptile. Victor was famous for hunting dangerous animals around the world. His walls were covered with trophies from lions, bears, and wild buffalo. Yet he wanted something even more impressive. When he heard about Titan, he became obsessed. He imagined returning home with proof that he had conquered the largest crocodile later, the hunters arrived near the village. Their trucks carried powerful equipment, cages, weapons, and supplies. The villagers immediately sensed trouble. Many tried to warn them that Titan was not an ordinary crocodile, and that disturbing the river's balance could have serious consequences. Victor ignored every warning. Meanwhile, Titan continued his daily routine, unaware of the threat approaching his territory. Beneath the calm surface of the river, he patrolled familiar waters where he had hunted for decades. Fish scattered whenever his massive shadow passed beneath them. As the hunters explored the jungle, they discovered enormous tracks in the mud. Some measured nearly 2 feet across. Excitement spread through the group. They realized the stories might actually be true. Cameras were set up along the riverbanks, and bait was placed For several days, Titan avoided the traps. His instincts told him something unusual was happening. Strange scents filled the air. Unfamiliar sounds echoed through the forest at night. The old crocodile became more cautious, staying hidden in deeper sections of the river. One morning, a camera finally captured a clear image of Titan. The photograph shocked everyone. The crocodile was even larger than expected. Victor stared at the image with determination. He knew capturing such a creature would be difficult, but his desire only grew stronger. As preparations intensified, the tension between the villagers and hunters increased. Arif, the young fisherman, feared what might happen if the hunters succeeded. He had come to respect the giant crocodile was now set for confrontation between man and nature. Neither side realized how dangerous the coming days would become. Deep within the river, Titan waited silently, sensing that a great challenge was drawing near. The ancient ruler of the river was about to face the greatest threat of his life. Part 3. The trap in the jungle. The jungle had never felt so tense. For days, Victor Blackwood and his team searched tirelessly for Titan, determined to capture or kill the legendary crocodile. Every morning, they followed tracks along the muddy riverbanks, and every night they studied camera footage, hoping to learn the giant reptile's movements. The hunters believed they were getting closer, but Titan was far smarter than they imagined. Deep beneath the river's surface, Titan sensed that strangers had invaded his territory. The old crocodile had survived for decades decades because he understood danger. He noticed the unusual smells drifting through the air. The strange objects placed near the shoreline and the constant noise of boats moving through areas that were normally quiet. His instincts warned him to remain cautious. One evening, the hunters decided to build their largest trap yet. Near a narrow section of the river, they constructed a massive cage reinforced with thick steel bars. Inside, they placed fresh bait, hoping the scent would attract Titan. Victor was confident that no animal could escape once trapped inside. As darkness covered the jungle, the river became silent. The moon reflected off the water like silver glass. Hidden among the reeds, Titan slowly approached the area. His powerful eyes examined every detail. The scent of the bait was tempting, but something felt wrong. The old crocodile remained perfectly still for nearly an hour, watching and waiting. Suddenly, a smaller crocodile entered the trap. The heavy gate slammed shut with a loud crash. The trapped animal thrashed wildly inside the cage. Victor and his team rushed from their hiding places, celebrating what they thought was a victory. Their excitement quickly faded when they realized they had captured the wrong crocodile. From a distance, Titan watched everything unfold. The giant reptile slowly turned and disappeared into the darkness. Once again, he had avoided danger. The next morning, frustration spread through the hunting camp. Supplies were running low, and the villagers were becoming increasingly hostile toward the hunters. Victor refused to give up. He ordered his team to place even more traps throughout the jungle. Meanwhile, while, Earth secretly observed the hunter's activities. The young fisherman worried that their actions were disrupting the entire ecosystem. Animals were avoiding certain areas. Birds had stopped nesting near the river, and local fishermen were struggling to catch fish. The balance of nature was beginning to change. A violent storm arrived that evening. Thunder shook the jungle while powerful winds bent the trees. Heavy rain flooded the river banks and washed away several traps. The hunters scrambled to protect their equipment as the river rose rapidly. For Titan, however, the storm was an advantage. He moved through the swollen river with ease, using the darkness and rushing water to travel unseen. While the hunters struggled against nature, the ancient crocodile remained perfectly adapted to it. By sunrise, Several traps were destroyed, and valuable equipment was lost. Yet Victor's determination only grew stronger. He swore that he would not leave the jungle without finding Titan. What Victor did not realize was that his obsession was leading him deeper into danger. The jungle was no longer simply a hunting ground. It had become a battlefield. And Titan, the ancient ruler of the river, was preparing for a confrontation that would soon change everything. Part 4. The Battle for the River. Days passed, and the tension in the jungle continued to grow. Victor Blackwood had become consumed by his mission. Every failed trap and every lost opportunity increased his frustration. His team members began questioning whether continuing the hunt was worth the risk. But Victor refused to listen. Capturing Titan had become more than a goal. Meanwhile, Titan continued to patrol the river. The giant crocodile was no longer simply avoiding the hunters. He had started observing them carefully, learning their patterns just as they were trying to learn his. Every night, he watched from the shadows as boats moved across the water and campfires flickered along the shore. One afternoon, a member of Victor's team discovered fresh tracks leading into a remote section of the swamp. The footprints were enormous and unmistakable. Excitement spread through the camp. Convinced they had finally found Titan's hiding place, the hunters quickly gathered their equipment and followed the trail. The journey was difficult. Thick mud slowed their progress, and tangled roots blocked their path. Strange sounds echoed through the swamp, making even experienced hunters nervous. Yet they continued forward, determined to reach the end of the seemed to spread out around the lagoon while he waited with the tranquilizer rifle aimed at the water. For nearly 2 hours, nothing happened. Then, without warning, the surface of the lagoon exploded. A massive shape surged from the water with incredible force. Titan had been hiding beneath the surface the entire time. His enormous body created waves that knocked several hunters off their feet. Panic erupted instantly. Some hunters dropped their equipment and ran. Others struggled to regain their balance in the deep mud. Victor fired a tranquilizer dart, but the shot missed its target and disappeared into the jungle. Titan did not attack directly. Instead, he used the environment to his advantage. With a powerful sweep of his tail, he sent water crashing toward the hunters. Confusion spread as everyone tried to escape the chaos. Arif, who had secretly followed the expedition, watched the scene unfold from a distance. He realized that Titan was not hunting the men. The crocodile was defending his territory and warning them to leave. The confrontation lasted only a few minutes, but it felt much longer. Eventually, the hunters retreated from the lagoon, shaken and exhausted. Several pieces of expensive equipment were abandoned during the escape. Back at camp, arguments broke out among Victor's team. Some wanted to leave immediately, believing the mission had become too dangerous. Others feared that staying longer could lead to serious injuries or worse. Victor sat silently beside the campfire that night. His pride had been wounded. For the first time, he realized that Titan was not merely a large crocodile. The ancient predator was intelligent, patient, As darkness settled over the river, Titan rested beneath the water once again.
The crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing things.
The battle for the river was far from over.
Isn't that incredible? Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile was
Victor was planning one final attempt to capture the legendary crocodile, and it would be the most dangerous plan yet.
the most amazing things, like singing with the birds in the trees. Isn't that
Neither man nor beast knew that the coming days would decide the future of the river forever?
ordinary creature? He could do the most amazing things, like singing with the birds in the trees.
The final confrontation was approaching,
Isn't that incredible?
and only one side would emerge victorious.
Was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing things, like singing with the birds.
Part 5.
The crocodile was no
The final hunt.
Isn't that incredible? Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile was
The events at the hidden lagoon changed everything.
like singing with the birds in the trees. Isn't that incredible? Listen to this.
Victor Blackwood's team was exhausted,
The crocodile was no
frightened,
like singing with the birds.
and ready to leave the jungle.
Amazing things, like singing with the birds in the trees. Isn't that incredible?
The encounter with Titan had proven that the giant crocodile was unlike any animal they had ever faced.
Isn't that incredible? Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile
Yet Victor refused to abandon his mission.
things, like singing with the birds in the trees. Isn't that incredible?
His obsession had grown so strong that he could think of nothing else.
Incredible? Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile was no ordinary creature.
Capturing Titan had become a matter of pride.
Singing with the birds in the trees. Isn't that incredible? Listen to this remarkable story.
The next morning,
Like singing
numbers around a map of the river. Many of the hunters argued that they should return home before someone got hurt. Supplies were nearly gone. Several traps had been destroyed, and morale was at its lowest point. But Victor had one final plan. Using information collected from weeks of observations, he believed he had identified Titan's favorite section of the river, a narrow channel where fish gathered during the dry season. Victor planned to block both ends of the channel with heavy steel nets, trapping Titan inside. Once confined, the hunters would use tranquilizer darts to subdue the giant reptile. Reluctantly, the team agreed. For 2 days, they worked tirelessly. Boats carried massive nets into position while workers secured them to thick trees on both sides of the river. It was the largest operation the hunters Crocodile sensed that something unusual was happening.
Like singing with the birds in the trees. Isn't that incredible? Listen to this.
The river no longer felt the same.
This remarkable story. The crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing.
Strange vibrations traveled through the water. An unfamiliar sense drifted from downstream.
Crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing things. Like singing.
His instincts warned him that danger was close.
Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing.
On the evening of the third day, the trap was ready.
Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing.
As the sun disappeared behind the jungle canopy, the hunters took their positions.
Incredible. Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile was no ordinary creature.
Spotlights were prepared.
The crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing things. Like
Tranquilizer rifles were loaded.
like singing with the birds in the trees. Isn't that incredible? Listen to this remarkable.
Everyone waited in nervous silence.
The crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing things. Like
Hours passed.
the crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing things. Like singing.
Then,
Incredible.
just after midnight, movement appeared in the water.
He could do the most amazing things. Like singing with the birds in the trees.
A huge shadow glided beneath the surface toward the channel.
Amazing things. Like singing with the birds in the trees. Isn't that incredible?
It's him,
Crocodile was no ordinary creature.
Victor whispered.
Isn't that incredible? Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile was no ordinary.
Excitement spread through the hunters as Titan entered the trap area.
The crocodile was no ordinary creature. He could do the most amazing things.
Slowly,
Listen to this.
the nets were raised behind him.
Listen to this remarkable story. The crocodile was no ordinary creature.
For the first time, it seemed the legendary crocodile had not an ordinary predator. The moment the net tightened, he sensed the danger. With incredible force, he spun his massive body through the water. Waves crashed against the riverbanks. The hunters struggled to maintain control as Titan slammed into the barrier. The first impact shook the entire structure. The second impact snapped several support ropes. The third impact tore a massive hole through the net. Water exploded in every direction as Titan surged forward. The enormous crocodile burst through the damaged barrier, leaving the hunters stunned. Victor immediately fired multiple tranquilizer darts. One struck Titan's thick hide, but the dosage was too small for a creature of his size. Instead of slowing down, the crocodile disappeared into the darkness. The river became silent once again. For several minutes, nobody spoke. Then disaster struck. The damaged net suddenly collapsed, pulling one of the hunters into the water. Panic erupted as the current dragged him downstream. Several team members rushed to help, barely managing to rescue him before he disappeared
beneath the surface. The incident shocked everyone. Victor finally realized how dangerous the situation had become. The jungle was not a place humans could fully control. Despite all their technology, weapons, and planning, they had failed. Back in the village, Arif listened as news of the failed operation spread. Many villagers believed the river itself was protecting Titan. Whether true or not, one thing was certain: the giant crocodile had survived every trap placed before him. As dawn broke over the jungle, Titan rested in a secluded section of the river far from the hunters. He was tired but unharmed. The scars on his body were reminders of countless battles won throughout his life. Yet the story was not over. Victor stood alone by the riverbank, staring into the water. Deep inside, he knew his expedition had failed. But he still faced a choice: continue the hunt and risk everything, or finally accept that some creatures belong to the wild. The answer would determine the fate of both the hunters and the legendary ruler of the river. The final chapter of Titan's story was about to begin.